Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Editorgy, and today I'm going to be talking about the new OnePlus 9 Pro and why I feel that this is the best Android flagship that you can buy right now. But before I take a deep dive into the smartphone, you know the drill. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so we can continue to make more videos like this one. OnePlus has a great track record when it comes to making top quality premium flagship smartphones. But the one area where the company hasn't quite lived up to expectations is with its camera performance, which is mostly good, but not as good as the competition. So this year, OnePlus decided to change that reputation by partnering up with renowned camera legacy brand Hasselblad. And OnePlus, in typical OnePlus fashion, made a very big deal about it.
We made a very important decision to partner with a legendary camera company, and every professional photographer knows their name, Hasselblad.
Hasselblad has developed its unique aesthetics for a unique Hasselblad feel. Hasselblad camera for mobile, with Hasselblad. Hasselblad inspired by Hasselblad. Hasselblad's with Hasselblad, OnePlus, and Hasselblad camera for mobile. Renowned Hasselblad ambassadors. Color calibration with Hasselblad. A Hasselblad ambassador. Together with Hasselblad brought a Hasselblad Pro mode. Hasselblad level with Hasselblad. Hasselblad camera for mobile.
So has this new collaboration with Hasselblad paid off for OnePlus? Well, for the most part, yes. Sure, it's still not the best camera system in the world, but the fact that it can now go head-to-head against the likes of Samsung and Apple is a pretty big win for OnePlus. So to quickly go over those rear camera specs, the main 48 megapixel shooter is a Sony IMX789 that supports 12-bit RAW capture, whereas other phones support 10-bit RAW. There's a 50 megapixel ultra-wide Sony IMX766 sensor that is 3.2 times larger than the one on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Finally, there's an 8 megapixel telephoto which works in tandem with the 2 megapixel monochrome sensor and the laser autofocus. Sure, yeah, all of that sounds really fancy, but the biggest promise that OnePlus is making with the 9 Pro's camera is to offer more color-accurate pictures by using Hasselblad's image processing technique. And in that regard, it definitely delivers. In all lighting conditions, the main sensor managed to replicate colors in a very natural way. It's also worth noting that the back panel, especially near the camera module, excessively heats up when you use the phone outdoors in really hot conditions. In fact, the phone itself won't let you take any photos until those temperatures come down. Anyway, moving on to night photography, which is actually pretty good, with OnePlus's Nightscape or its night mode doing a very respectable job of sprucing up the frame and reducing noise in the background. Ultra-wide performance is another major improvement for OnePlus. The lens did a terrific job in both good and low light. Photos always came out crisp with hardly any distortion on the sides due to a custom freeform lens integrated into the camera system with curves to correct the incoming light. The ultra-wide lens also doubled up as a macro mode and captured a good amount of detail while preserving accurate colors. Meanwhile, the telephoto camera clicked good photos at the designated 3.3 times optical zoom, but hardcore tele lovers won't get the same amount of detailed range offered by the Galaxy S21 Ultra's 10 times optical zoom lens. The Hasselblad partnership also extends to the Pro mode in the OnePlus 9 Pro's camera app, and it deserves a big shout out. The interface is really simple to use and you can easily see what's set to manual and what's in auto mode. But the best part is focus peaking, which lets you know when a subject is in focus. Coming over to the video department, the OnePlus 9 Pro comes with 8K recording at 30 frames per second, a huge upgrade over the 8 Pro, which was limited to 4K resolution. Additionally, the new OnePlus lets you shoot 4K videos at 120 frames per second, so you can get that super smooth slow motion effect. But for some strange reason, there's no option to shoot 1080p videos at 120 frames per second, which is generally a feature that I would have used on a regular basis and would have been great if it was included over here. Another big headlining feature is improved HDR for backlit subjects, but it's nothing groundbreaking and the overall effect is okay at best. The 16 megapixel front camera clicked decent enough selfies and offered plenty of detail in the right light. Switching to portrait mode automatically adds some smoothing, but I didn't notice any major edge detection issues. With the OnePlus 9 Pro, the premium experience begins with design. I tested the Morning Mist variant, which has a beautiful silver finish that flaunts a mirror-like surface towards the bottom. The glass on the back and front seamlessly blends into the aluminium rail on the edges, offering a luxurious build quality. The only downside is the extremely reflective glossy surface that's a complete fingerprint city and very slippery. At 8.7mm thick and a sub 200 gram weight, the phone easily fits into most pockets and is just about manageable to use with one hand. On the front, you get gently curved edges and minimal bezels, making way for a very immersive viewing experience. The only interruption to that ocean of screen is a small punch-hole selfie camera. Underneath the screen, there's a fast and reliable fingerprint scanner just like the last generation. Most of the other parts stay the same, including the convenient alert slider on the side, stereo speakers, an IP68 water and dust resistance rating, and the absent headphone jack. Just like last year's OnePlus 8 Pro, the 9 Pro also packs a 120Hz display that refreshes at double the rate of most phones. However, this time OnePlus offers you an adaptive refresh rate because the display uses LTPO technology, which goes as high as 120Hz or as low as 1 Hz depending on what you're doing on the screen at any given time. This helps with better battery optimization, and the 120Hz refresh rate definitely delivers a very speedy display. But then I did notice the occasional lags while scrolling on certain apps like YouTube and Chrome. Although I believe that this is more to do with the adaptive refresh rate trying to adjust itself when you open these apps, and I think this is something that can easily be fixed with a software update. Apart from that, the OnePlus 9 Pro screen is fantastic. This is a 6.7-inch 3216 by 1440 pixel AMOLED display with every top-of-the-line spec you could ask for. It's rated at 1300 nits peak brightness and is clear enough to use outside under direct sunlight. Take all of this into account and it's not hard to believe that DisplayMate rated this screen an A+, its highest grade, yet again. Now, if you're like me and you like to watch a lot of videos or capture a lot of photos or make a lot of phone calls, then this battery isn't going to give you more than a day's usage. Basically, the battery backup isn't the best in class, but on the other hand, OnePlus's standout feature is its 65-watt proprietary charger that can top up the phone in a jiffy. With its 4500 mAh of cumulative battery split into two separate cells for fast concurrent charging, the 9 Pro goes from 0 to full in 35 minutes on average, significantly faster than most of the competition. And if you like, you can spend an additional 3,990 rupees on OnePlus's new Warp Charge 50 wireless charger. With the phone fully dead, it charged completely in 55 minutes, which isn't too bad. The OnePlus 9 Pro also supports reverse wireless charging like its predecessor, so you can charge other Qi-enabled devices, but as the charging speeds aren't all that fast, I didn't find myself using it too often. Similar to many high-end phones this year, the OnePlus 9 Pro also runs on the Snapdragon 888 5G processor, the best brain an Android can get. Hence, you can expect super zippy performance no matter what you're doing on this phone. And the chipset also sports an Adreno 660 GPU, which easily handles high graphic gaming without any issues. There's nothing that slows the OnePlus 9 Pro down, even more so if you have the 12GB RAM version with 256GB of UFS 3.1 storage. Now, complementing the excellent performance is OnePlus's Oxygen OS, which still happens to be my favorite Android user interface. It's really snappy, and while it's a minimalistic take on Android 11, there are plenty of welcome tweaks on offer. For example, you can choose different color themes, change your wallpapers, icon packs, and even change the animation that accompanies the fingerprint scanner unlock. Now finally, let me tell you why I think that the OnePlus 9 Pro is the best Android flagship that you can buy right now. It's not because it offers you terrific premium high-end specs, other phones do that as well, but because it takes those high-end specs and translates them into an unbelievably beautiful user experience. And while I feel that the Hasselblad promise hasn't fully materialized, OnePlus has nonetheless made a giant leap in terms of camera capabilities. Bottom line, the OnePlus 9 Pro is no flagship killer at 64,999 rupees, but it's still a flagship, and a very good one at that.